Welcome, I'm Annihilator and you're at One Gaming. So you've downloaded and installed Satisfactory, been through the tutorial and now you're a bit lost. Stay tuned, we're going to get through the basics of playing Satisfactory and how to set up the starter factory. So you have started the game, you've got your four choices here. You've got your ideal first grass fields, rocky desert, northern forest and dune desert. We're going to start with grass fields. It's what's recommended if you're the first time player, and that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to skip the intro to get this into it. So we're just going to call this testing. I highly suggest you start the game and do the intro. It gives you very basics. I want to get straight into teaching you the basics of this. So let us get into it. Now, when you get in, you'll do the crash landing scene and all that kind of thing, and you're going to come into this world. It's very pretty. Now, if you see that guy around there, ignore him. He's not going to hurt you. What you want to do is work out your controls. So it's your standard mouse and keyboard movement. If you press Q, Q brings up this menu, and you've got special, production, power, logistics, and organization. We're going to go through all of those individually in a moment. I just want to get through all your other keys. Then if we close down Q, you press tab. Tab brings up your inventory as a person. So there is your inventory. So you've got all your miners, your Xeno Zapper. We're going to get to what a Xeno Zapper is now. It's essentially to kill the bugs that are on the planet. Then 1, 2, 3, and 4 is already pre-bound on to build things with. So we don't want any of that. So we're just going to clear it. And if I now go to my inventory, take my Xeno Zapper and put it in my hands, because I'm going to need it. And now what we're going to do is you're going to press V. Now V brings up your ore scanner. So the first thing we want to look for is iron ore. Okay, now you look on your HUD on your radar. Okay, so we've got 300 meters that way, 370 meters that way, and 240. So I'm probably going to go that way because there's two nodes right close to each other. But I also want to know where copper and limestone is. Limestone's used to make cement. So we're just going to see. All right. So there's copper and iron. Nice. All right. So we're going to go in that general direction because there's a lot of resources there. And let's check limestone. There should be a node of limestone down there as well. Yeah. All right. Perfect. So we're going to go that way. Now, while you're on your way, you want to pick up all the bushes you can. So just run past them, pick them up using your E key to do that. Because you're going to use these bushes for fuel. You're going to burn them. You're going to burn the leaves as fuel. Hold down Shift to run, spacebar is to jump, and C is to crouch. Now we're just going to run through getting all these bushes. And then you're going to see these berry trees as well. Now the berry trees are what you use to heal up with when you get damaged. If you die in this, there's no real consequence to dying currently. So the barrel nuts is what you want. So just to make sure you're going in the right direction, we're just going to scan again. And we should be going in the right direction. Yeah, there. Okay, cool. Now just keep going until you get to one either the copper or the iron. Okay, here we go. Now these guys are going to be, they are aggressive. So they're going to circle strafe you like that. Now you're going to have to learn how to kite them. In other words, you're going to have to learn to zap them and avoid getting hit by yourself. And then they're going to drop these carapaces. And you need to pick them up. They don't take a lot of zapping. But they are aggressive. There's nothing you can do about it. They will attack you on sight. Okay, so now we're just going to grab a couple more bushes. Now you're going to get to your first nodes. Okay, there's some more barrel nuts, and that fruit down there will also heal you. Okay, so you hit me there, and I took some damage. As you go up the tech tree, you will be able to get weapons to shoot back and that kind of thing. Alright, so there's another one down there, so we just need to get rid of him. That was too early. So they're not too bad to get rid of. There we go. All right. And you want the carapaces, you need them for research. Okay, so now this is an iron node. So can see there, you need to chop these things off first. So that's what we're going to do now. So this is a twin node. You see there's one here and there's another one here. Now also, when you are building your factory for the first time, you want it on as flat a surface as possible. So let us look for our copper again. We're on the iron node. All right, so there's one there. And let's look for our limestone. All right, so there's 70 meters this way. Okay, so we've got a limestone deposit down there. Beryl nuts down there. Now this area could make a good starting location for you because it's relatively flat. It's a little thick with aggressive species, and copper is not close. That's the major problem, because you need copper to make copper sheets. So there's copper that way, 140 meters. So I'm going to get there and then we'll be back. Welcome back. So we have picked this particular area for the start of our new base. So we've got a couple of iron nodes behind us. Ignore the box on the ground for now. We have got our limestone up there and over there, and we've got a copper node up on that hill over there. So this is a pretty good area. As I mentioned before, I look for areas that are pretty flat because I like to pave a lot of my areas just to make it easier to work with. So the first building we're going to need is going to be your hub. Now for now, we're just going to put the hub down roughly over here. Actually, I'm going to rotate it around. There is a reason for that, because the power system on the hub sits at the back. There we go. Now in the hub, for now, we're going to get rid of that and look at our biomass burner. Now biomass burners need biomass, and I'll show you now how to make those. So we've got some there. So if you want to make biomass, we're going to take flowers and we're going to put them into our crafting bench here. And you'll see at the bottom, biomass, you can either make it from wood or you can make it from these. I've already made everything I can make just to speed things up along. We need the leaves and that so we can burn them to make electricity. But we're not going to do that just yet. The moon's coming up. So we're going to take one of these portable miners, put it in our hands, and we're going to stick it on this iron node. Alright, so it will then unpack and do its thing. To open up iron nodes or any other node, you just have to go into it and then start chipping away at the rock. Or the iron ore, not the rock. And eventually you'll break it off, and there we go. So I'm going to take another one and put it down there, and that will start mining. We can build a mine already, but I'm not wanting to do that just yet. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing on our limestone this side and our copper up there, and we'll be back once I've completed doing that. Now the hub initially is where you're going to do everything you want to do in Satisfactory. So we're going to go to the hub terminal, press E. So our active milestone is here, base building, then we've got logistics and fields research. So base building unlocks, look at your foundations, everything here, walls, ramps. So we need 58 concrete, 100 iron plates and 100 iron bars. So to make that, we're going to go to our crafting bench and we're just going to craft up some iron ingots. From the iron ore I have already mined. As you can see, I have been busy in the background and I've made some iron ingots already. So now I'm just going to click and hold down craft, and I'm going to make a whole bunch of iron plates and iron bars. I have put down the portable miners already for both the copper and the limestone, and you can see I've got a little bit of limestone on me, about 118 or so. I still have to go get the copper. So we're just going to keep doing this, and then I'm going to make some rods as well. The rods go a bit quicker. And then once you've made enough of the resources, you go back to the terminal and you just hold down shift. You just hold down shift and click, and there you go. So we're nearly there already. So I'm just going to complete making the rest of these resources and get some of the copper, and then we're going to start putting down some foundations and building our base. Okay then, we have got enough materials now to finish off this. Now if I click the launch the pod and I go look outside quickly, turn around, and off we go. Now I hear you. Why do we do all of this? When you start it, they give you enough resource to immediately start building a miner and conveyor belts and all this kind of stuff. And you can do that. There's no problem. You can do that straight off the bat. I just don't like to redo the work. So now that we've done that base building research, we now have access to our tiles. So we go to walls and foundations. So I'm going to pick this foundation. Actually, I'm going to swap my hotbar. So remember that is Alt and 2 mouse wheel up and down. And then I'm going to go and put this, whoopsies, not that one. That one I'm going to put number 1. So just press 1 on your keyboard. And that one I'm going to put number 2. Walls I don't really need yet. And I'm just going to put that 3 for now. Now, it takes you 6 cement to make 1 foundation. And currently I don't have much cement because, yep, we just don't. Now, the thing is, I'm going to start already putting my factory on the foundations just to make it easier to place. So what I like to do with this is I tend to go to, say, like this rock outcropping and start building from here. Now these foundations, you can clip them into the cliffside. The game doesn't really care about clipping all that much. So we're just going to stick it about here, I think, and that's it. Now you can cancel jump up here. Now I'm going to get some more concrete or cement, and I'm going to start building this on a platform, and then we're going to start putting our miners down, which is the last thing we're going to do. We're going to automate our iron production, copper production, and our concrete production. So stay tuned. Welcome back. So I've put down a couple of foundations. I've built a couple. And yes, you can put foundations inside of foundations, this being early access. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start off with this limestone deposit over here. Now this is an impure limestone deposit. You get impure and pure, and there's a couple other variations of them. But the main thing you've got to know about them is that they are, the more pure it is, the more resources it will give you per mining section. And I'm not going to get into, you know, exactly what's the best, you know, production and all of that. This is just to get you started. Now, there is a small trick that you can do with these nodes. I don't like the look of them, so this one should let me do the little trick. Right, I don't have enough, so I'm just going to nick from that over there and put that one there. Now you're going to say, but hold on, you've now covered it up. Yes, you are correct. I have covered it up. But, okay, I need a bit more concrete, but you'll see now what I can do. It is, you won't be able to do this on every node, but you can do it, I find, with quite a few of them. Ooh, talk about it's meant to be. Alright. Now, so I'm just going to jump across there. If I need to break another one down, I will. Okay, so I'm going to take my miner, which is on my hotbar. So 5. Now you'll see, if you try and put a miner anywhere else, it's not going to snap. But you'll see here, it snaps there. Now I can scroll the mouse wheel whichever way I want. I don't want to face it against the cliff. But what's nice about doing it this way, it covers up the rock and it gives you a more uniform surface. And now I can snap the miner according to the lines on the tiles. So that's why I do this little trick. So I'm going to click. There builds my miner. And there we go. So now I just need to run power and all the rest of that. And we will start producing some concrete. Now the next thing we want to do is we're going to put down a container. If I can, I need to disassemble some of these. I need the resources. All right. So, oops, wrong way. I'm just going to extend these two out like this. And this is again just temporary. This is just to get us up and going. So I'm now going to put down a container. Now with these, orange is always input and the light blue teal color is output. So you go from blue to orange and you see the grid lines there. That means both the base and the input shaft are aligned to each other. So you can actually go that close, but it's really difficult to put in a conveyor belt if you go that close. So I normally go 1 or 2 away like that, and then I'm going to take my conveyor belt, start on the output, and click on that. Right, so now that is going to start producing concrete as soon as or the not the concrete itself, but the limestone as soon as I give it some power. So there is my first power pole. Now there, remember, these power poles can handle a maximum of 4 connections. So I'm going to take my power line to there, snap it to there. So that's 1 connection, and I'm going to snap it to there. Okay, so that's 2 connections on the power pole. So it can only handle another 2. So you can go to another machine and another power pole, which is basically what I'm going to do. So now that is the first stage. You don't need the container. I use the containers as buffers. It just makes life a little bit easier to manage. Okay, so then I'm just going to put down another one there. And I need another piece of concrete. So there we go. Snap you there. And now you need a constructor. So we're going to take a constructor. Again, look for the green lines. If you need some help, just hold down your Control key and just move it around. And we're going to say that, to me, that's good enough. And again, conveyor belts. Okay, now you think, okay, that's all handy and dandy and it's good. No, it's not quite finished yet. So we're going to take another power line, and then we need to tell it what it wants to make. So we want it to make concrete. All of this it can make, but it needs the raw ingredients first. So we want to make concrete. Now again, this doesn't have its own storage, and so I'm going to need more concrete. And just extend this again. And bada bing, bada boom. Keep going the wrong way. Okay, container. And that will be good. Conveyor belt. Okay, the containers are climbable. You can just climb up the ladders. So that is a very, very basic concrete system. So we've got our miner there that mines the limestone, that feeds it into the buffer here. You can go straight into the constructor to make it. I just use the container as an extra storage space in case something breaks. It does happen. Things get jammed up, or you run out of power, or something happens. You disconnect a power line by accident. It happens. So if it does, then it will at least still feed into here, so you don't lose all your capacity. It's not a perfect system, but it works for me. It's good enough for me. And then our finished cement goes, or concrete, whoops, not that one, goes into the container. So we've got 17 there. So that is what we're now going to do for the iron nodes down there. We can put another limestone mine down there as well. And the copper mine, which sits up, you can just see it up there. And then we're going to wait and get enough concrete now so I can tile this whole area. And then we will run through building those other production facilities. And always leave more space than you think you need. This is something I still do. I think, that's more than enough space. Always, okay, if you think I need X amount of space, double it, just to be safe. It's really, really difficult to rebuild something again and again because you keep running out of space. Always leave yourself more space than you need. That there is a power slug. I'm not going to worry about it too much for now, but you can collect them. They don't do much. They're a bit of research currently, and then you can see there's another one up there. So that's what we're going to do for now. I'm going to wait for it to build up some concrete supplies. I can do this by myself, but it's much quicker to do it this way. And then when we come back, I'll have tiled all of this, and we'll just finish off the iron and copper mines. There is one other thing I am busy with while I've been waiting for that, is the research. So I have started putting the next milestone down. You'll see here, it's the logistics one, because I need these to do this properly, especially coming off the cliff. I want to use the conveyor lifts, and I need those to do it properly. So I've been making a whole bunch of iron and ingots and stuff. So I'm going to make some plates and bars and copper wire because I need 300 copper wire. So I should have enough to make all of this. And that is something I will send off the probe once we have all the necessary resources. We've done quite a bit since the last time you guys were here. We have built up our basic infrastructure up to our copper mine up there. We've put down one or two foundations, and we've made a bit of concrete. A bit more than I was anticipating. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we are going to first send our probe to space to get the next research tree. Alright, so the logistics part, I've done all the research, all the bits, getting all the copper and the metal plates. So that's now going to go to space. Alright, so as you said, we've got now access to conveyor belts. That's what I've been waiting for. You can do this, guys. That's what I'm saying. There is 100 different ways to play Satisfactory. I'm just showing you the way I prefer to play it. So now that we've got conveyor belts and vertical lifts, we can do a couple of cool things. So I'm going to go to my logistics tree. You can see now we've got conveyor belts and conveyor lifts. So this I am going to go to my third one. I'm going to put conveyor belts on 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 5. So I tend to separate my hotkeys into different sections. So this will be my transportation hotkey. Now the first mine we're going to go build is going to be our copper mine. Now for the copper mine itself, we need a miner, miner, all right, which we've got enough of. We probably have to build a couple of portable miners itself. All right, so we're just going to pick up the miner there. The reason I leave this open for now is that I can actually know where it is. The iron ones I've already removed. Okay, so now we're just going to put down our foundation. Then we're going to go back to tier 1. And now I'm going to put it in this orientation so it lines up nicely with the grid itself, what I use as a grid. Now you'll see what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to take the conveyor belts downstairs using this pre-allocated section. So first things first, I'm going to take the conveyor belt and I'm going to turn it 90 degrees. A handy little tip here. When you bring it out, you'll see it now. That's now a 90-degree turn. So I can put this basically anywhere. I can put it down there if I want it. It will clip through the floors. So I'm just going to put it there. It will straighten itself out there. And now I'm going to click again. Now I want to do another 90-degree turn. And this time I'm putting it on this join line. And that helps me just align things a little easier. Now this one, I'm just going to drop it there. So we've got a conveyor belt here. Now we're just going to take it all the way down here. Now with these conveyor belts, they can do a maximum of 48 meters and a minimum of 4. All right, perfect. Now we're going to have to just demolish that bit and redo it. Okay, and we have to fix our power lines. And for that, we need to go back to that one. No, I can't fit it there. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just bring it across to the corner there. We'll bring it to there, and now we'll wire it there to there, and that looks a bit neater than going straight across. It's just the way I do it. You could literally run it from there all the way down to there if you so choose. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put him down there and demolish that one, and voila. Okay, so what I'm now going to do is I'm going to go downstairs and I am going to start setting up the iron mines in the same vein. So when we'll be back, I'll have all 3 of the iron mines ready to go. One thing you've got to be aware of when you're building your new mines is your power consumption. So if you can go to any power pole, you can press E on it, and you'll see I'm currently at 14.1 megawatts and my current capacity is 20 megawatts. Now the power lines themselves have no capacity limit, except for the poles can only hold 4 cables as mentioned previously. So I'm now going to connect up this one here. I need a bit of iron before I can build the next one. So I need to get these operational. So we're at 14.1. Let's see what our power jumped to. And we wait for it. Okay, you see now we're at 19 megawatts. So if I had to build another factory of any kind, we would hit our capacity limit of our power. So that actually means we need to get our second biomass burner up and running on our base. So it's the same principle as before. We're just going to connect it to there. And do I have any biomass on me? No. So I'm just going to split that. Right click to split half the stack. And boom. All right. So now we're producing 40 megawatts of power. But we're more than likely going to have to build an additional biomass burner very, very soon. That's why in the next episode, we're going to be getting to coal. Okay, so I'm going to get a bit of steel going, and so I can build the next part of our factory. Well, we've got our copper production pretty much ready or up and running. We just need to do the last thing is put down another storage container. So we want it in line with that. Like so. We're going to run a conveyor belt. So the smelter smelts down the raw copper ore. You can see it coming out of a container there into copper ingots. Then it gets split into the splitter. This one down here turns the raw copper ore into wire, and that puts it into its own container. Now, a lot of your products, as you get more and more the tech tree, will need multiple stages. So that's why I said very early, you need to have the space for it. So this one produces wire, you can from copper, so there it's producing the wire. Then this one turns it into the cable. So this is already a multi-stage process, and then it's got the completed cable going to our container. Now the same principle applies to our iron, which is also now fully up and running. So this one, iron mine, storage, smelter, constructor into iron plates. Okay, same principle applies here, but this one makes it into iron bars. The third thing we need out of iron is screws. So again, multi-stage process. So mine, smelter, constructor into iron bars into screws, and then the screws come and get put into our container. Now that is one thing you've got to be aware of is when building this. And the last one I actually haven't done yet is advanced iron plates, which is actually a 3-step process. You need the advanced iron plates to build some of these machines. You can build it back in the hub, but if you want to do it, so you need to make iron bars and you need screws. So you can see it again, steel plates and screws, and that gives you the advanced iron plates. So I can't do that because I need an advanced constructor that's got 2 inputs, but we'll get to that in the next episode. So that's going to be it for this. I know it seems like a lot, but this is just a very, very starter factory. This will get you up and running without you having to grind a lot of resources. The next thing I'm going to focus on is getting a chainsaw so I can get wood up. I had to actually make that sound is me running out of power, so I've just run out of fuel. So my whole factory is now going to grind to a halt. Something's run out of fuel. It's the new biomass generator I built this side, so he's run out of fuel that side. But yeah, so when we come back, I'll have my fuel situation sorted. I have the chainsaw. Well, everybody, that is the end of our first episode on Satisfactory. It's a bit more complicated than a lot of people are led to believe, in my opinion. I was requested to make this by a certain viewer of mine, so I hope you enjoy it. I went a bit further than I had anticipated, but I really wanted to show you the early factory and how you can just get going. For me, this is just a temporary building. This is just to get me resources so I can start building properly without having to spend my life running back to the hub and manufacturing resources there. We've got concrete, we've got steel, we've got screws, and we've got pipes or bars. So in the next episode, we're going to automate our advanced iron plates and get more of the tech tree unlocked, so we can actually start building a proper base. And we're going to go from that we're going to go there quite soon. But if you've enjoyed this episode, please give it a big thumbs up, share it far and wide, and please do subscribe. I really do enjoy making these for you. And we'll see you again soon. As always, have a great day. See you all. As always, have a fantastic day. Love ya. Cheers.